Hello and welcome to the STOP and SAS Formula Grant Program Administrator Training on the VAWA Impact Tool and Performance Reporting. Here at VAWA Measuring Effectiveness Initiative, our mission is to support OVW in tracking and measuring the work of VAWA grantees. We collect all formula subgrantee data. We clean, analyze, and write reports to Congress on both discretionary data and formula subgrantee data. We provide technical assistance to formula administrators. We provide webinars, we attend new grantee orientations, and provide one-on-one support. The goal of this training is to provide you with the information you need to navigate the administrator dashboard, invite subgrantees to fill out a performance report, how to navigate those subgrantee performance reports, and who to contact for assistance. Administrator reports are the fillable PDFs that must be downloaded from our website, vawamei.org. Administrators must fill out these PDFs and submit them into the Just Grants accounts. This year, admin reports are due into Just Grants by March 30th, 2025. Administrators will receive an email from VAWA MEI inviting them to set up a new account or notifying them that their account is re-enabled if you've previously had an account in the Impact tool. Once you're logged in, administrators will be able to access the state or territory dashboard, and from there, generate links to blank progress reports, view subgrantee reports that are in progress, review, make changes, deny and request changes, or approve subgrantee reports, and ultimately, you'll be able to submit the final subgrantee reports to VAWA MEI. Subgrantees, however, will not have accounts in Impact Tool. Subgrantees will use the link provided by administrators to access a blank performance report. They will not need to create an account at all. Subgrantees will enter their information within the subgrantee form and all subgrant funded activities within the Impact tool. By entering contact information into the general information section of the form, a unique URL link will generate for their progress report, and they'll be able to return to that performance report using their unique link. It is a shareable link so that multiple staff can work on the performance report. Whoever saves a page last is how that page gets saved. So we recommend one person working on the performance report at a time, or one person working on a section at a time. After subgrantees are finished entering data, they're able to submit their performance report to their administrator by doing the final review process, which I will show in a later slide. Administrators must support subgrantees by orienting them to the data that's needed for the reports, answering subgrantee questions about the data that needs to be collected and reported, and by reviewing each subgrantee report and addressing any errors or misunderstandings with the subgrantee. If at any point you are unsure how to answer a subgrantee's question, please reach out to us at VAWA MEI anytime. When reviewing a subgrantee report, administrators should make sure that all of the subgrant funded activities are captured, either in numerical or qualitative narrative fields. After reviewing each subgrant report, admins can deny a report to unlock the fields for editing and send the unique link back to a subgrantee to request changes. Admins can unlock the forms to make changes directly into the reports themselves, and then at the end of it can approve of the report, which will enable you to submit all approved reports to VAWA MEI. If a subgrantee is not able to provide information to a question on the form that's required, and they do not have some of the data that's requested, these are the instructions you should give. Do not estimate. Any numbers reported should have adequate source documentation. Use narrative fields to explain missing data or activities that they are unable to quantify at the time of reporting. All right. This is a quick view of an example state dashboard for Maine, because that's where our agency, VAWA MEI, is located. You can see that there's a pending submissions tab highlighted, and there are 2 subgrantee reports listed out, just fake ones we created. One has a status of completed, which means the subgrantee finished their report and it's ready for the state administrator to review. The second one has a status of edits requested, which means that the administrator did review and deny the report and would have sent the URL back to the subgrantee. Please note that there are no communications within the impact tool between state administrators and subgrantees. Anytime you need to email the blank form URL or the unique report URL, you need to do that outside of the impact tool, likely via an email. You can see the blank form URL button is here, as well as downloading reports. You can approve and deny reports here, and also review them. This is how you would send a report link to your subgrantees so that they can all get started. You'll select from the program dropdown. If you're able to see both STOP and SASP, you'll select which one you want to click a link for. So when you click blank form URL, it'll give you a pop-up. And from there, you're going to copy the blank form URL provided, and you will email that with some instructions to your subgrantees. They'll be able to use that link to start their work. And again, their unique link will be generated when they put in their contact information in the general information section of the form. When you're reviewing a subgrantee form, you can see that you are able to unlock the fields to make edits by clicking Edit this report in the top right as highlighted. Some other things that are visible on this screen are the left-hand navigation bar, where you can see the different section has different page numbers, and currently there are green circle check marks next to each page indicating that there are no validation issues. There are validation requirements throughout the form, and the navigation bar will have a yellow exclamation point if anything is a validation error. You can then turn off the editing when you're done making changes. You'll want to hit save and go to next page on the bottom to save the changes that you've made, and then you can click turn editing off in the top right. Filling out subgrantee reports. When you provide the blank URL, your subgrantees are going to all be using the exact same blank report URL. And again, if they fill out their contact information in the first page of the performance report where there's general information, that is how they get their unique report link. By clicking save at the bottom of that page, it will generate a report link that is essentially tied to whatever email address they put in as the point of contact email address. If at any point they can't find their unique link again, they'll be able to search for it by putting in their email address at the very front of the page where they go for the blank report. Administrators are also able to fill out subgrantee reports on behalf of subgrantees using that blank link, just like a subgrantee would. There are required questions throughout the form that are marked with an asterisk, and if you were to try to skip one, it'll generate a validation error, which would also show up in the navigation bar with the yellow exclamation point And at the very end of the form, in the submit and validate screen, there will be a list of sections that have validation errors, if there are any. Another thing to note about the impact tool is that the sections are dynamic. Each question number starts with the question number 1 in each different section. As I mentioned, there are validation errors that are, if you try to skip a required question, or if something isn't totaling the way that it needs to, you'll see a couple of different things. There would be a red error message of text on that page next to the field that has an error. For example, if something needs to total 100%, it will tell you that in red text next to the total field. Another way to know is that in the navigation pane at the left of the page, you'll see that yellow exclamation point to indicate that the page has an error. And then again, at the very end of the whole report, there's a validate and submit page that will list out any sections that contain validation errors. You cannot finalize a report that has validation errors. You must address them, or your subgrantees must address them. So to finalize and submit a report from a subgrantee, or another way to say that would have been, subgrantees need to do this finalizing process in order to submit their reports to state administrators. The very final page of the report now will say validate, review, and submit. Assuming all validation requirements are met, this is the screen that they would end up seeing. So the next step would be for them to click on the final review report button. There will be a pop-up that looks like this part of my the left part of my screen here, where it says generate PDF or performance report. This is required. All subgrantees must do this in order to submit their forms to state administrators. As you can see, the directions are that they're going to hit the continue button and then start at the very front page of the performance report. And they must click go to next page on every single page of the performance report in order to create the final PDF of their performance report, including any sections that they said no to. So this piece of the process is required for submission. If at any point during their final review, they notice an issue that they need to fix, they can click on the cancel review button that will be on the screen. It's bright red and can't be missed. They could then make any changes they need to make to their data, and then they would need to go back to the final review report button at the very end and start this whole process over by clicking through each page's go to next page button. Once they've completed that go to next page button at the bottom of every page, they'll be able to complete submission by clicking submit. And then the next page will allow them to download a PDF report of their performance report. It's also really critical that if any data changes are made after that point, the performance report PDF should be regenerated by going through this process again, either by the subgrantee or by the admin. So again, if an administrator makes data changes to a report that was submitted to them, the administrator should go through this final review report process to create an accurately updated final PDF of the subgrantee report, or you may send it back to the subgrantee using their unique URL link to have them go through the final review report process again to create that updated PDF. Administrators do not have to do this process of final review report for every single report when reviewing it, only if you make changes. Instead, you may just navigate back to the administrator dashboard when you've completed your review. You do not have to click the final review report button at the end again. So really quickly, I am going to show you a real dashboard to click around a little bit on the screen. So bear with me while I switch screens, please. All right. So as you can see on my screen now, I am logged into the main state dashboard just as an example. I made it so that I can see both SASP performance reports and STOP performance reports. Up here, there's a resources tab and the dashboard tab. I can click blank form URL. This is how I'm going to get the URL for a blank performance report to send to subgrantees externally through an email. I would have to do one at a time. Those will bring me to a blank reporting form that all of my subgrantees can access. The next thing I'm going to point out on the screen is that there is this pending submissions tab and an approved submissions tab. So let's start on pending submissions. You can see the example subgrantee here. This is one report. It's something I just made up. So you can see the status here of the report is completed. I completed it by filling out all of the data and going through that final review report process. Because I'm logged in as a state administrator, I can click View to do my review of this performance report. So this is what the subgrantee performance report looks like from the administrator dashboard. You can see the Edit This Report button at the top. I can do that if I want to make changes, but I do not need to do that. Instead, I can just navigate through by going go to next page to go through and see as much of this performance report as I'd like to see. If I go to the very end, validate and submit, you can see this says that state administrators, you do not have to do this final review report button if you didn't make changes. If you're ready to approve or deny the report and send it back to your subgrantee if you denied it, you're just going to return to your state dashboard, which is up here in the top of your screen. So I'm just going to exit this subgrantee report by clicking dashboard, and now I'm back at the state administrator dashboard. I can approve it to move it to the approved submissions tab. Approved submissions can still be viewed. I can still get the unique URL for this report if I need to. I could unapprove it, and that's going to send it back to pending. I could even deny it. And here you can see if I'm denying it and there's edits that still need to be made, you're going to copy this unique URL to that reporting form to send to the subgrantee externally via email and tell them what changes that they need to do and remind them that they must resubmit by going through the final review report process. All right, so approve once all the changes are made. And when I'm ready to submit all of the subgrantee reports to VAWA MEI, I'm going to click Submit and Finalize over here on the right. Okay. I am going to present again. Thanks for bearing with me switching slides and switching screens. So again, only submitting to VAWA MEI once the reports have been approved and have a status of approved. If for some reason you get the email from VAWA MEI that your account is re-enabled, the account you used in a previous reporting period, and you don't remember your password, you can click Forgot Password when you try to log into the state dashboard. It will send you an email to allow you to reset your password. If you put in the wrong password too many times, you will get locked out for 10 minutes. And at that point, we recommend you do the forgot password process. If you're still having issues, please reach out to VAWA MEI for support. So if you're having any issues with getting your administrator report submitted to Just Grants, like logging in or figuring out how to submit that PDF, please reach out to the Just Grants support line. We are not able to help you with that at VAWA MEI, but Just Grants has a small team of folks who will be able to assist you. If you're having any questions about allowable activities for subgrantees, anything related to statutory requirements of distributing funds, or if for some reason you're unable to submit your administrative report by the deadline, these are all reasons to reach out to your OVW grant specialist. And lastly, if you need any assistance with using the impact tool, if you have any questions about the content of subgrantee reporting forms or administrator reporting forms, and you want some one-on-one support, we are here for you. VAWA MEI has a team full of folks ready to help you with any of your questions. You can reach us by either email, vawamei@maine.edu, or by calling our main number, 1-800-922-8292. Thank you so much for sitting through this PowerPoint. I really hope that this walkthrough makes you feel like you're going to be able to go through the reporting process smoothly with your subgrantees. But again, please reach out to us anytime for support. Thank you so much.